Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth,
And I'm Coach Victoria.
and in this video we're going to be talking to you about get your mojo back after your breakup.
Your mojo. It's very important.
I had a friend back in the day that used to talk about his mojo all the time. Mojo this, mojo that.
Was it Austin Powers? Or...
He probably shagged more people than Austin Powers, that's for sure.
I lost my mojo.
You got to have your mojo. You know, you don't feel like yourself anymore. Mm-hmm. You just feel deflated. You feel kind of like a empty shell of who you were. You don't find any joy in anything anymore. You don't find any joy in the things that you used to love to do. And all you really do is think about that person, where they're at, what they're doing, and if they're coming back.
Right. And when we talk about mojo, maybe the psychological term would be sense of self. Mm-hmm. So your identity. Sometimes when we're in a relationship, we get so involved with fusing our identity with our partner that when a breakup happens, we lose who we are. And so part of healing through a breakup is regaining that sense of self, is rediscovering yourself. So that's what we want to talk about today. Give you just a couple of tips to regain your mojo, to get your mojo back.
Absolutely, because you want to feel like yourself again. And honestly, you have to get back to who you were if you're going to re-attract your ex anyway, okay? So if there's no other reason that you can find, it's going to be a lot more attractive if you're yourself with your ex, who you were, that attracted them, and not this version of you that you were at the breakup that, you know, just is completely unattractive. You're begging and pleading, all that stuff.
And I love the word mojo because it has a little bit of zest to it. You know, it's a little bit like your swag. It is your sense of self, but it's that little spice of life that adds to it. So very first thing is, in order to get your mojo back, you got to listen to your emotions. You can't deny just the very thing that makes you human.
Yeah, I think a lot of us get so numb at the breakup that we don't really feel life and the pleasure and the joy that comes from life because we're just so consumed, and we can get stuck in that for years. I had email coachings this week. Someone was stuck in a breakup for years, 3 years. Wow. In fact, I might do a video on it with you. They didn't process, they didn't deal with it, and they're still looking at that person, the ex, like present, like why are they presently being cold with me when they haven't talked in years? So, you know, you got to get yourself back.
Right.
It's not easy to do.
It's not easy. It's almost like the more we deny something, the more it haunts us. And so being able to process these emotions, sit with them, whatever that looks like for you. We also talk about healthy emotional expression. So that means whether you're into art, whether you're into music, whether you're into poetry, find some type of creative outlet to experience these emotions through. Sometimes we want to get back to ourselves so bad, and we resist the pain of the breakup that we end up just causing ourselves more harm in the long run. So being able to creatively express our pain and see it as a part of ourselves can be helpful.
And I did quite a bit of research before we started the creative healing course on art therapy, and apparently art therapy has shown great results in people's healing. And so that's why we included, however, I don't even remember how many art therapy activities are in the creative healing course to help you express a part of your unconscious and process different things that are not, you know, necessarily through words. You know?
Exactly.
I think one of the activities was draw your breakup. Remember that one?
Yeah.
Lots of breakup stuff, especially in the beginning of the course.
So we always try to get you to this more creative mindset to where you can connect with your emotions in a different way. So that's our hope, is that we can find different outlets. Another thing that can help get your mojo back, I feel like doing a shimmy when I say mojo, is to connect with your body. Now, this is one that I love because there is such a strong connection between our mental health and our physical form and our flesh suit. So it's
our flesh suit.
Our flesh suit. Sometimes when we're feeling very depressed, we're disconnected from ourselves, we're disconnected from our body, we're disconnected from movement. And we have a lot of physical symptoms when we're going through a breakup. You know, Craig always talks about the diarrhea.
Oh, man.
We get palpitations, we
awful.
sweat. we're restless. And so sometimes if we resist some of our symptoms and we're just trying so hard to get better and trying everything and nothing's working, it might be because we are feeling so disconnected from our body. Connect with your body through movement. It doesn't have to be, running a marathon or making that a goal after a breakup. For some of you, it might be. But just being able to be more aware of what's going on and move in a way that feels good. So you don't have to be a triathlete to do this, but just move in ways that feel good to you.
It also helps release and get rid of those stress hormones. Get them out of your body with the being active, so that can really help. I used to go for a lot of long walks, especially at night. I found it so peaceful, and just it helped me kind of put things in perspective a little bit better. But being active is a great idea to do it, because those stress hormones being released in your body are just torture. Right?
So this could be yoga, this could be dance.
Yoga?
It could be
yoga.
it could be runs, it could
I need
be
to
walks.
open a yoga studio called You Seek Yoda.
It's not
Or
a
You
bad
Seek
idea.
Yoga.
It's not a bad idea. A lot of these things can also be social, which brings us to our next point of connecting with others. Connecting with others is a great way to get your mojo back, because different people bring out different parts of you, parts that may have been asleep or dormant for a long time.
Yeah, and a big part of you is going to be like, I don't want to connect with anybody but my ex. But all of our connections can be important, with the family that you are closest with or the friends that you trust the most. Those are just as important as your relationship with your ex. So please find ways to spend time with them and not isolate yourself.
Exactly. And if you're lacking that community, just going back to moving your physical flesh suit, your physical form. And these things can be social too, like yoga. You can do it in a group. You can find parks to meet at. There's meetup groups for different physical activities, for different interests even.
LARPs?
So,
Was that what it was?
LARPing.
LARPing. You
live
talked-
action role play. It's a thing.
You talked
It's a
about
thing.
that a long time ago.
So there's a lot
Frolf.
that you can get involved with. Of course, it's going to
Frisbee
depend.
golf?
Yes, I think we did talk about. How did you remember that?
I don't know. Apparently, I pay attention to us during those videos.
You have a better memory than I do. But there are a lot of different things that you can get involved with. Of course, it's going to depend on where you live. I know some towns are smaller than others.
Frolf-free. There are frolf-free towns.
Are there? And so try your best to be in community, to be around other people.
Yep, absolutely. One of the other things that you can do is focus on how you look, because it can make you feel better. If you're laying around and you don't take a shower, you don't take care of yourself, you kind of don't feel better in some ways. So it does make you feel better to take a shower, get clean, maybe get a haircut, go, dress up, leave the house, as hard as that may be sometimes, and find ways to take care of yourself in a way that you feel good about your appearance, because that can make you feel good on the inside.
Right. And you can take joy in self-care. It can be something that is really enjoyable, that is really fun, that's really gratifying. Me personally, I really love perfumes. I'm really into fragrances. It's something that I love, and it's a way that I can combine my self-care with an interest or hobby. So find whatever it is for you. Maybe you are into trying out different hairstyles. Maybe you're into frothing. Maybe you're into
LARPing.
trying different fashion or thrifting, So find ways to feel good about the way that you look, the way that you feel. It is the way that you present yourself, so it's something that is fairly important. It's another means of expression. So it's something that's important. You can wear your favorite pants. I have a pair of favorite pants. You can play with makeup, be creative, use it as an outlet, as a creative outlet. You can find your mojo through a lot of different ways. And so we're hoping that in this video we've given you a couple different ideas, things to kind of try out. Try something different. Part of the point we're also trying to make here is that you do have an opportunity to reinvent yourself after a breakup. Yes, it's about finding yourself again, but it's also about awakening parts of yourself that you may have not known existed. So it can be a fun journey. It can be something that's interesting and that, brings out a new side of you.
Anything that you can do to get out of the rut of just obsessively online stalking your ex, which many of you are doing, can make you get into the right direction. And it may not get you there overnight, but even if you start doing these things a little bit at a time, day after day, week after week, it will slowly get you there, as opposed to doing nothing and just obsessively watching when they go on and off of WhatsApp or whatever social media that you're watching.
Exactly.
You know, because if you have to do it to reattract your ex, that's fine if that's where you start.
That's true.
But you're not going to reattract them if you don't have your mojo back, right?
It's true. That mojo is important. That mojo is the spice of life. So we need a bit of it. And it's something that does feel good. And that's something to remind yourself too. You might be going through a breakup. You might be in the depths of it. You might not feel like yourself. You might look in the mirror and not recognize who you are. But the hope that things will get better, the hope that you will find that zest again, that you will feel happy again, it's there.
It just takes time.
It does
But the
take
more
time.
you put in, the sooner it will tend to come. Okay. All right. So hopefully you found this one helpful. And of course, if you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth,
And I'm Coach Victoria.
and we will talk with you soon.